Hi everyone, and welcome to your love reading. Now this is for any star sign, anyone who's drawn to listen to it. There's probably a message for you. If it doesn't resonate with you, then sorry. And if it does, then this is for you. Just take what does resonate and leave what doesn't. Okay, so with the love readings, what I do is I use tarot cards. And I'm also going to use my absolute favorite in the world, Chuck Spitzano love cards, which I just love. So we're going to start off with some traditional Rider-Waite today. Let's find out what is going on, the collective in love. Okay. I just felt really prompted to do this reading right here today, and to be honest I don't even really have the time to, so yeah. Okay, so I've got your tarot. We'll move on to the love cards next. Let's talk about the tarot first. So first card out for our love reading, unfortunately, isn't the most positive of love cards, and it is the Ace of Cups in the reverse. Some people will just come out and say this is a breakup. It might not be a breakup, but it's definitely a difficult conversation. It's definitely an overflow of emotions. It's crying, the bubbling, the tears. Is how did this happen? So there's definitely been some sort of overflow of emotion. This came out with the Seven of Cups, which is the fantasy future. Can't see the wood from the trees with my emotions right now. When that comes out with me with the Ace of Cups, you don't even know how you feel. Someone has got you to a stage of, or you've got yourself at a stage of, I don't even know how I feel about this situation. And to be honest, I wouldn't make a decision right now either and try and pretend like you know how you feel, because look at what's in front of you. We have some really strange things going on here. We've got something which we don't really know what it is. We've got a snake in a cup. We've got some sort of statue. We have costume jewellery. There's just some weird things going on here, and not all of them are positive, if any. So right now you probably can't trust your emotions, or can't trust you to make a decision, because your emotions are so all over the place. Even my words are all over the place talking about this right now. Don't grab a cup because you don't know what's in it. Don't settle on an emotion because you don't know where you're going to be coming out of this situation. Now, we just had a full moon in Leo on the 16th or 17th, depending where you are. So this could have been kicked off massively by then. I think there was a star sign that had these first two cards. I can't remember which one it was. I might look back and see and tag it in the bottom, because this is definitely resonating with that sign. We get the Knight of Cups in the reverse. Someone didn't come forward in the way that you'd expected, hoped, or probably deserved. The Knight of Cups, when he's in the upright, people will read that as your knight in shining armor, which is rather unrealistic, but this is a love reading, so we will go with that. When it goes into reverse, it's like my knight in shining armor did not show up. And again, the Knight of Cups in the reverse is a serious lack of control over your emotions. You might be a water sign, or there could be a water sign involved in this, because the first three cards are water, so Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio. But yeah, this is like a disappointment of like, where is my knight in shining armor, regardless of gender? Where's my like happy ending? I deserve more than this. They should have pulled through by now. It's that type of energy. And now as well with that Seven of Cups, and now you've got me thinking crazy stuff. I mean, when someone doesn't pull through for you emotionally, your head goes everywhere, and normally not to like the right things as well. It kind of thinks of the worst case scenario, like someone doesn't buy you a Valentine's gift or whatever, and straight away it's like, and I bet they got someone else a Valentine's gift, or, oh, what have I done wrong? And you make it this huge thing that it just doesn't need to be. But I understand the disappointment in this, but there's a huge message of, you're confused. And you might even have created some sort of fantasy future with this person that hasn't really been based in reality. And I don't want that to sound harsh, but it just is what it is. Those are the cards. Sorry. You can always trust me to just tell you the truth. I'm not going to be one of those tarot readers that just tells you, oh, the Knight of Cups is coming and everything's going to go swimmingly, if that's not what's here. We get the 5 of Wands in the reverse. Again, this is not being able to see the wood from the trees mentally. But this goes into reverse, and I feel like you're getting some mental clarity, you just might not like it. You don't have emotional clarity, that's for sure, but you're definitely getting some mental clarity. Your head might be chiming in like, what about this? Or, remember this? Or, red flag, red flag. And your heart is refusing to see it. You're coming out of internal conflict here though, or any sort of conflict at all with people's opinions or your own opinions. You are going to come out of this situation with that. Especially because we have the Hanged Man in the reverse, which is like the opposite of the Hanged Man, meaning of a temporary pause in action. There has been a pause in this, and now it's like the ball has begun to roll. Enlightenment has happened, funnily enough, talking about mental clarity. There it is. There's always a halo around about the Hanged Man, and that's why he goes into this temporary pause in action, because he knows that he needs to do some inner work. And now that inner work has been done and you can move forward, you can see clearly now, you know the next steps. 2 of Wands. I know where I'm going. I can see clearly now the rain is gone. The world is in my hands. It's my oyster. Even if it's not what I wanted, I know the truth and I know where I'm going. It's literally, boom, 2 wands in the ground, stable, halfway to the 4, stable 4 of wands, halfway to the happy ending, almost. I mean, it's still a 4, so it's not the end, but it's definitely halfway to something to bloody celebrate. So you're halfway there. It might not feel like that, but you definitely are. You at least have the means to move forward or to think about moving forward now. That's so interesting. Okay, I'm now going to pull some Chuck Spezzano love cards to go with your reading. Lots of problems. Whew. Okay, so how Chuck Spezzano works, well, for me, and I'm sure he wrote this in the book, but it's been so long since I've read it, is there's all these different cards, but you pull problem cards when you're doing like a reading like I am until you get a happy or positive card. So we started with a positive card, but I wanted to pull more than one. Sorry. And the first one we have, which is like, I'm sorry for even saying it, self-love. Not what anyone wants to hear, especially during a love reading. It's like, no, that's not, no, I want someone else to love me. This is all about someone else loving me. But we all know, like that Ace of Cups talks about, if you cannot fill up your own cup with love, if you cannot love yourself, you cannot love someone else. Someone will just keep taking from you. That's what happens with the Ace of Cups. You can only fill up your cup for so long and keep filling up your cup and keep filling up your cup. If someone keeps taking it from you, it's always going to be half empty. You need to love yourself before you can love someone else. And that is so, so prominent here with this Chuck Spezzano of self-love. This person is looking in the mirror and they see themselves as being beautiful. They see themselves as total catch. There we go, focus now. They're like, oh, I love you. I mean, we all do those affirmations, I'm sure. And you look in the mirror and you're like, I am a goddess. I am beautiful. Money is flowing to me. Everything's great. It doesn't, you know, it's one thing to try and do that, but it's another thing to really love yourself and talk to yourself in this situation as if you were talking to your best friend. That's what I want you to do. Imagine your best friend called you about this and the advice that you would give to them, and that loving, caring way is the way that you need to take your own advice. We get the problem card of heartbreak, which is pretty self-explanatory, or the problem, or is it the problem card of problem. And we have two people trying to mend a heart back together. So at least there are two people here trying to mend this heart back together. It's been blue, it's been eerie, there has been some hurts. I mean, there's a reason that this heart is broken in the first place. And it is going to take two people and two people's effort and two people's equal effort to put this back together before you could even think about it. Can this other person actually help to mend this situation? You get the problem card of using, which, as you can see, is this person kind of stepping over people to get to where they need to be. You might feel used in this situation. This might be one of your shadow sides of feeling used. There we go. Using. You get the problem card of disillusionment, which is someone finally seeing the truth behind the mask, finally seeing what was going on behind the scenes. You know, this person has built a complete and utter play and screen. They don't just have, they're not just being a fake person, they literally have a fake personality. They're a completely different person in real life, and this is all just a show. I mean, this could be the person you're talking about, and this could be doesn't even need to be in a negative sense. This could be finding out that the person you thought was so confident isn't very confident. It could be finding out, which is normally the case with that, because I mean, they're presenting themselves as some sort of valiant and noble knight. It can mean that someone didn't have the best intentions that you thought you did. There's so many different ways to interpret this card. But then, funnily enough, we then get the healing card of commitment. So commitment kind of just depends on how you see commitment. Everyone's relationship is different, and everyone sees the next step up, or I was going to say stage and step at the same time, the next stage or step up of commitment as being something different. Let me try and get this to focus. We have a little couple here just about to walk through a lovely, or walking out of a lovely meadow, looks like. And they are together. This is about commitment, and it's the healing card of commitment as well. And this is what this needs. It needs commitment. If that person can't mend your heart and give you what you need and maybe step up some sort of commitment, then maybe it's time to move on without them. And if that person can, that could be what that Two of Wands is, choosing to move on, choosing to go forward together onto the next stage. However, keep your fantasy in check. And if this person hasn't pulled through as the Knight of Cups, they haven't come through as a King of Cups or a King of anything anywhere else either. So I would definitely be questioning, can this person pull through? And it's annoying because probably when they do, it's probably really good and probably really heartfelt, and it's probably the reason you've stayed in this situation for so long. For another group of you, I'm channeling another completely different message here, which is for another group of you entirely. For people who are extremely paranoid about things like third parties in their situation, or feeling severely insecure, anything along those lines, for example, it is probably all in your head. And I'm talking to the water signs here, because that's more of a water sign message, because that Knight of Cups is you. You're not pulling through. You're emotionally unstable. You're crying over things that you shouldn't be, and you need to love yourself more and understand that this is an illusion. But like I said, this is a small group of Pisces, Cancer, Scorpios, and you'll know who you are if that is to you, because it's so specific. Yeah. Okay, and I'm just going to finish off with Colette Baron Reid, Wisdom of the Oracle card. we get never-ending story. Oh. How many times have we had this argument? How many times have we had this conversation? This is never ending. That's how it feels. I think on the little wheel here we have no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes. It's like, do they love me? Yes, they do. You know, it's almost like that. Yes, they love me. They love me not. They love me. They love me not. And it's a never-ending story of some sort of cycle that does need to be broken, one way or another, choosing to move forward committed or choosing to end the situation. But either way, this is like a story that's gone on for a very long time, which has that energy of like, when is this going to end? And we get round and round, which I can't tell you how much I pull these cards together, actually. That was at the bottom of the deck. Round and round and round. That's that cycle that you need to break. It kind of looks like a seashell. Again, that water sign energy. Yeah, you need to break the cycle. I'll do one more. It's the top one. Oh, I'm so glad I did one more. There's only one or two really beautiful love cards in this oracle deck. And this is one of them, and it's soulmates. So for those of you who are into all that, soulmates, twin flames, all that jazz, you know how difficult that journey can be. And you have all the other connotations that come with that. I tend to stay away from that with my tarot readings. But when it comes up like this, you can't deny it. This person, someone around you, is a genuine soul partner. Why won't this focus? Because it's so pretty. And we have this little guy with a little lock. You can tell the key to her heart when this eventually focuses. I'm going to stay here until it does. So yeah, while we're waiting on that to focus, if it ever will. Maybe there is a lack of clarity in this. There we go. Okay. And it has that kind of feeling of cloud nine, floating. There's a real genuine soul contract here, soul relationship here, and that's probably why this situation is so hard. It doesn't mean that this person is the one for you. Depends on your perception of soulmates and what you believe in. I'm not going to be the one to influence you on that, but yeah, take it how it is. Okay, thank you so much for listening to your love reading. I will be back again soon with another Chuck Spitzano love reading very soon. Namaste, everyone. Bye-bye.